What is up, y'all? It is Chili. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be here. I have been traveling so much for work lately. For like the past 14 weeks, I've been gone for like 7 of them, but I'm home now with no travel in the future, and I've had a lot of time to think about this plot during my flights and my driving and everything like that. So I would be super remiss if I didn't just like get on here and make a video to just like data download my stream of consciousness about what I have been thinking about and obsessing over lately about this plot. And I'm sure that y'all are the same way. So with all these thoughts swirling around in my own little void, I just wanted to get them out there while they're fresh in my mind. So let's dive into it. So I've been thinking a lot about how these shades from the void are kind of like manifestations of bad feelings or experiences that maybe Neopians have gone through. When I was battling them as part of the, no big deal, just like out here saving my whole planet, they were saying things like, you cannot escape your past, and the darkness within will consume you, and all your fears are made manifest. They may be manifestations of negative energy. These phrases seem to sort of hint at their true nature and maybe some of the traumas that they represent. They make me think that maybe these voidlings or these shades are unresolved traumas, negative emotions, things like that some of the characters have experienced. And these plot themes are going to be them confronting and overcoming these internal struggles as we're going throughout the plot. Now, we know already because of the trigger warning that we received from TNT in the beginning of this, that the whole plot is geared up to tackle some pretty heavy issues like identity and belonging. They've already told us in that really awesome statement that they released, which I'll show on the screen here, you can pause to read if you'd like, that they're going to touch on mental health, abandonment, identity, community, family, exclusion. So I feel like these shades from the void, or they're going to get more powerful as the plot progresses forward, and it's going to bring in throughout time some of these heavier and heavier themes along the way. So it may start off with kind of like that classic Neopets kind of cutesy way of laughing and looking at life's reality, like Dr. Seuss says, like through the wrong end of the telescope kind of thing. But I think that this plot may end up being a little bit unlike some other plots that we've seen in the past, because it's actually going to delve into some of these more serious things that we as Neopians have experienced as we've grown up on this site and gotten older and gone through more serious things in our lives. I think it has the potential for getting a little bit intense, and you know what, I'm here for it. Like, I am here for open and uncomfortable discussion that aids growth. Let's fucking do it. Okay, so like the shades are, let's say, like bad feelings, right? And these bad feelings are spirits that are manifesting within the void. If you don't deal with your negative feelings in a healthy way, then they build up in the background of your mind. So I think of that as like the void within. It's as much of like an internal struggle as it is like maybe like an actual realm that we'll get to go to, which would be so dope. Like, cause like Nyx went there, right? Like in her ship. So yeah, I feel like I'm clipping my audio right now because I'm like chewing on my microphone because I'm so excited. I'm so sorry. So we will be probably talking about feelings of hopelessness, depression, despair, because those are often described as feelings of having a void inside of you, right? Or like an emptiness that you feel. Unresolved traumas can sometimes leak out of our subconscious into our everyday life. And this symbolic representation of part of the mental health journey, I feel, is going to be a very poignant reflection that will exist within this sometimes silly and less serious world. The juxtaposition of this incredibly colorful and cute characters that Neopets uses with this deep and very important theme that we're going to be talking about from the plot. The team is touching on something that I think is a little different than they've done before, and I feel that with the age of the people that actually do play this, I mean, it's mostly adults that played this as children, right? This is something that's going to deeply resonate with a lot of us within the community because it's going to sort of reflect a big part of our own journeys from childhood to now. I ran across a comment on Reddit, and I'm so sorry that I can't credit the user because I didn't write it down, it just kind of stuck with me. But they said, depression, because apparently life wasn't hard enough without your brain working against you. And I feel like that really well captures the struggle that a lot of us face on a day-to-day basis, myself included. It's these shared experiences and this sort of humor that we have to develop to cope with being like this and having, in some cases, either a brain that was developed this way or experiences that shaped you. And a lot of us have developed that shield of humor that we use to cope with the challenges that we face individually. And it's so beautiful that we've had this Neopian community for so long that is so supportive and so relatable throughout that quest. I know that it's been very pivotal for my own self in development over time. All right, enter Nyx, who is this daring pilot who ventured into the void with her ship. Her introduction came to us during a exploration mission where she encountered a mysterious pet. When she picked it up, she started to get infected with this void thing, and the Phaley was actually able to craft this little device that saved her, and then it passed out. We thought it died. As a community. We freaked out. We were going to riot, but they let us know that it wasn't actually dead. It's coming back. But the whole oh my god, why did you leave me alone? Trauma, emotional damage. It was so much. But through the comics and the storyline and update and everything like that, we see Nyx navigating this new eerie environment, kind of emphasizing her bravery and the challenges that she's getting ready to face. Nyx's name comes from Greek mythology. Nyx is a primordial goddess of the night, associated with mystery and beauty and power. I don't know if this is who they named her after. This is just the parallel that I'm making. This name would signify her connection to dark challenges and her potential to harness strength from darkness, and also maybe reflect her role in dealing with the void and the traumas that it represents. So her name suggests that while the work is dark and difficult, it's work worth doing, and that the healing process is a very beautiful thing. Nyx embodies, to me, I think, the healing process itself. So through her, we're going to see how confronting these issues and processing your traumas and your past experiences can help you to kind of defeat your own shades from your own void, if that makes sense. I think it's going to talk a little bit about depression and hopelessness and despair, and that these are often things that create the void within yourself. I think that Nyx's story also fits the literary structure of the classic hero's journey, which has these really defined parts of it. There's a few of them, like the call to adventure, the meeting the mentor, the crossing the threshold. And we see Nyx at that stage right now, I feel in the plot, the crossing the threshold, because she's moved from her ordinary world into the realm of the void. She's committed to her journey. This step marks her readiness to face the challenges ahead of her and her willingness to grow stronger. Nyx's character highlights different strategies and approaches to healing, I think. So her journey showcases how confronting and restructuring negative thought patterns helps you to overcome some of your inner struggles. This process, I think, aligns her with some concepts of psychology, like challenging cognitive distortions and developing healthier mental habits. I think that her experiences kind of mirror some of the therapeutic practices that I've had encouraged to me within therapy that help me to face my own shadow demons, and that integrating those parts into a cohesive self-care routine are very helpful. So I hope that they kind of touch on aspects of self-care and being easier on yourself and not judging yourself so deeply, and helping yourself to acknowledge who you are, but also to learn how to have maybe some healthier habits and implement them in your life. I feel that this healing process really emphasizes self-awareness and emotional resilience and ongoing personal growth. So I hope that they kind of touch on those things. And then I also want to talk a little bit about Baelia, the Grey Fairy. So her story is heartbreaking and powerful, and it makes me want to sob and sob and sob and eat crackers and sob. But I think that in this plot, we're going to see a lot more of her carving out her identity and defining herself within Neopia, and probably also, confronting the trauma of having her wings taken from her. And I feel that's going to be really pivotal moment in seeing she's going to choose a new name. She's going to regain her power. I literally want to just fucking cry right now thinking about how amazing this is going to be and how hard we're going to be writing for this girl if that's what happens, because she was done so fucking dirty, and then we were just left without any kind of closure to that. And especially the point in time in my life, at least, when this happened, it hit so hard, and it's just sort of been on the back burner. Please, TNT, can we close this wound? But I feel the symbolism of the power of naming and reclaiming one's identity is going to be a big thing for her. Plato suggested that curing the soul with beautiful words is essential for well-being, and I feel Baelia, the Grey Fairy's journey towards choosing this new name and embracing her past and being able to move past it and go into her new life and have that sort of rebirth really shows that kind of healing power and self-acceptance and empowerment that is so beautiful and so pivotal for lots and lots of us as Neopians to hear. I think that this parallel trigger warning here for essay, if this is something that you don't want to hear about or talk about, they are themes that are going to be within this plot. So I would recommend either jumping forward in this about 1 minute, or just go take care of yourself, and I love you, and you don't have to experience things that are uncomfortable to you, okay? The parallels and experiences of abuse and of sexual assault survivors, it really highlights how such traumas can rob an individual of their feelings of safety and their sense of self and their autonomy and just their belief of their sense of justice and where they fit in with the world. And their relationships with other people. I mean, it calls everything in your life into question. So being able to see Baelia reclaim her name and carve out a new life for herself represents her starting anew and reclaiming this new identity and reestablishing that power and that autonomy, and it is something that I am just so fucking here for. I want to go stand on my roof and scream about it to my fucking neighbors, because when this girl gets her wings back, y'all, holy shit. I also will be completely honest, I have the hugest, dread in the depths of my soul. If this isn't Baelia's hot girl summer, if this is really her villain era, oh my fucking god. What a build-up, what a twist. TNT, I swear, please don't do that to me. That will kill my heart. I love our evil baddies, but I have been holding out so long. We literally need Baelia's redemption arc. That will fix the economy. It will stop all wars. TNT, I'm begging you. I don't have much, and I won't give anything to you, but, please do this for the people. I'm super excited to see how these characters' stories intertwine with a larger plot, and how they offer lessons and insights for all of us. Their growth and their development is going to provide a richer, more immersive experience, I think, than what we've been used to recently. And making the narrative more relatable and impactful, I feel is going to be huge. Terms like self-care and mindfulness are central to our modern mental health discussion. And I think that having themes of shadow work and healing your inner child may be kind of at play too, because I know that those are really big right now. It's self-care is how you take your power back kind of thing. I think that these concepts might be woven into the characters' journeys, how they learn how to control their lives and navigate through their own mental health struggles. I'm also really excited to see some of the other side characters that they've brought in. It's going to be so awesome. There's so many people that we've seen represented in the comics already that have been kind of brought in. So I think that each of these characters are going to have some kind of unique experiences with the Void, and we may get some additional depth or background to them on how they're battling their own shades. And I'm super excited to see some of their own perspectives and what some of their own unique experiences are that they've been dealing with, because some of them we don't get much beyond one thing that they did back in Neopian history, and then now they're a shopkeeper or something like that. So I'm so excited just to see how those characters develop and who I freaking fall in love with next. I just love the characters in this universe so much. This Void Within plot is bringing about some, not new, but old villains that we don't really know a lot about. And I'm super stoked about that, the Shadow Usul, for example. We have very limited information about this crazy shadow baddie that apparently only comes out at night, but we don't really know a lot about them. And then we roll into the trick-or-treat bags, right? So we have, these badass fucking stories that are being told about these villains for us. And we have Darkest Fairy's story referencing, spreading darkness and despair, and directly kind of linking her actions possibly to maybe the growth of the Void, ? Dr. Sloth's vision for ruling Neopia is met with a frenetic and cult-like dedication from his followers. This story highlights the grand scheme for unification under his rule, the unwavering belief in his plans, and the resistance efforts that have thwarted his ambitions. Captain Scarblade's journal reveals his ruthless quest for power and wealth. He describes his fearsome reputation, the iron will of his crew, and his relentless pursuit for a legendary treasure, all while planning to use this newfound power to dominate Neopia. The Shadow Usul is a figure of legendary fear, known for causing mysterious disappearances at night. This story recounts a terrifying night when an entire village vanished, consumed by an impenetrable darkness and the haunting gaze of the Usul's cosmic eye. The three are masters of manipulation, weaving sinister plans with dark influence and power. The story reveals a heated conversation between revenge, ambition, and greed, showcasing their ongoing schemes and their destructive nature. Vera's story is a tragic fall from grace due to vanity and envy, leading to her transformation from beauty to bitterness. Desperate for revenge, she makes a pact with darkness, showing how negative emotions can fuel the Void's power. She's willing to promise anything for a chance to regain her beauty, a deal that is sure to end badly. Xandra uses a fellow student in a dangerous magical ritual to stop disappearances and to boost her power. This preserved notebook entry recounts a chilling encounter with a dark creature, highlighting growth in her magical abilities and her rise to power. The Void could potentially serve as maybe the source of their dark influence or dark power, and I could totally see how we have all of these other plots and stories and everything within Neopia that has been kind of building and leading up to this, where all of these horrible evil things that have happened within Neopia over the past 26 years have been fueling this Void, that finally this alternate reality or whatever is bursting at the seams with all of this negative evil energy, and it's now starting to seep over into our world. world. Some other really kind of exciting things that we've seen with this plot is some references to possibly bringing back some characters that we thought were gone forever. Like, I know everybody is freaking out about the fact that we saw Lord Cass's sword in the background of that comic. His history with corruption and power makes him a really potentially very powerful ally, or even a pawn of the Void. So I could see this as potentially being a redemption story for Lord Cass. Holy shit. Oh my god. The message boards. Twitter. I can't even with what would happen if they brought our baddie man back and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna redeem him. He's good now. He knows so much about how to fight the three and how to fight the powers of darkness and everything like that, because he was green smoked and then pulled into the shade, and now he's like lived in the void forever and been fighting his way through it and being handsome. So I'm super excited to see what comes of this. What the fuck is gonna happen? I need to know everything right now. Looking back on it now, like, you know when you end a bad relationship and then you look back at it and you're like, oh my god, everything is so clear now. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just stupid. The stuff that we got for the Festival of Negs, we had that void neg, right? And it was saying possibly indicating it the void like takes in all light and is just shadow. And then Orion had that kind of cryptic comment about darkness lurking in unexpected places. So I kind of wonder if he was sort of hinting at the void with that. And then we have the travel posters, right? So there was an explosion on Reddit of the discourse about the travel posters, and they seem to subtly reference shadow figures, gray landscape, sort of hinting at the encroaching void coming at us. And that's kind of, you know, the void's influence spreading in some of the more vibrant and like verdant places of Neopia, and in some cases like even the more remote locations, you know what I mean? Like Rue Island, this adorable little fucking island, and it's got this like gray ominous cloud holding like over top of it. And then we had like the Fairyland one, right? And they had altered the text of all of them to, oh, this is not a good, exciting, fun place to be. So I feel like the travel posters kind of hint at specific areas of geography that maybe some of these characters are from or like have deep associations with, because there's definitely some sort of grudge or resentment between this person and these physical locations. That brings me to the new character that we're kind of seeing on these posters, the mysterious Yerbal. So he's appeared on a couple of these travel posters. He's sort of adding this like weird eerie ambiance and like puzzle to this, which I hope y'all figure it out because I won't, I promise you that. So this character seems to be connected to the shadowy elements, and they're sort of creeping across Neopia with Vera and painting people gray, I guess. And I feel like they're sort of serving as like an agent or like a symbol of the void's influence. And I remember on one of the posters he was holding a balloon. I'm intrigued. I need to know. So I just looked over on the Book of Ages and I was like, who are some famous Yerbals that we know from Neopian lore, which like TNT would be smart enough to go bury anything that they didn't want people to know about. But I went ahead and I looked into the Book of Ages to see what famous Yerbals from Neopian lore we have. I found kind of an adorable and cute little list of them. So we have the Angry Yerbal, who's known for like his short temper and his multiple jobs. So he's got roles in Sockmed and Brightvale and Altador, and right now he's working as a janitor in the Hall of Heroes. The fact that the Darkest Fairy was one of the heroes from the Hall of Heroes, and then during like the betrayal kind of thing, she sort of fell from grace and that whole thing, it does sort of have a connection to it. If somehow the Darkest Fairy could have been manipulating the janitor through the statue that's in the halls, that's where the janitor is all the time. I wonder almost if there could be something with that, if that's our Yerbal homie. We also have like the Tiki Mask Yerbal, which he's in that Goporoko game, I think is how you pronounce it. We have Yerbot, the YRB-X1, which was like Dr. Sloth's attempt at creating that AI Neopet, and it was very temperamental. And we believe that it was lost when his ship self-destructed, but I wonder maybe if this is like a 2.0 or like a 3.0 version of that like Sloth has created and is manipulating, or maybe it, you know, gained sentience and it's now out here just doing the things, being controlled by Sloth from the void. We have the Yerbal Farmer, who is constantly dealing with pests and Attack of the Slorg. He uses very unconventional methods to get rid of them, so I wonder if he could have been corrupted or is just possibly just like sick of this shit. He's just sick of everything and he's just going on a rampage. And then we have like the Altador Cup Yerbals, right? So we've got Team Haunted Woods people, which is that like Autry Fulci. We've got Vera from Team Molterra. We've got Yannick from the Mystery Island. Well, I guess he used to be with Mystery Island. I don't know if he picked a new team yet. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. We've got these Yerbals from the past. So I'm wondering kind of if this means that we're actually going to have a more prominent Yerbal character, or are they going to pull somebody up out of the minors? I'm just super curious with what TNT's doing with this Yerbal and the Balloon Friend. Y'all, when I sat down to record this, I was literally like, I'm just going to do a quick like 10-minute video on this, and we're already almost at 25 minutes, so I'm going to try really hard to wrap it up soon. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I would love to hear what you think about the plot. Like, what are some of your anticipated outcomes about Baelia reclaiming her name and her transformation, and how do you think that's going to impact the plot and Neopia as a whole? And what other evil characters do you think we're going to see come back and have like a big resurgence and a big glory day? And is anybody going to die? Like, do you think that we're going to lose anybody, how will we all be changed forever as people? Because that is the only thing that is certain, is that we will not be the same people after this plot is over. And not just because it's going to be like a year long. But who doesn't have a void within themselves, right? We all have things that we're processing from our past, and sometimes it feels like they're ripping through the fabric of our own reality and bleeding out into our everyday lives in a way that we can't control without the correct tools and the support of our community and those who love us. So this plot is, I think, a very important reminder of the importance of awareness and community and open communication and being honest with ourselves and others. Healing happens at our own pace, and that's okay, because that's how it should be, right? There's no individual path to healing or perfection. It's a constant journey that each one of us can take to be able to feel more at peace and happy and just neutral with the world around us. You know what I mean? I mean, happiness is definitely the goal, but sometimes maintaining or even achieving neutrality is the best that we can do at that time. And and even then, we're still killing it. That's still fantastic, right? Thank you so much for sitting through this video. Thank you for listening to my wild speculations. I'm so fucking excited to see where this plot is going to take us and what all we get to do to try to save Neopia from this looming threat. And I have no doubts that the greatest reward that we're going to get from this is the friends that we make along the way. But I'm also very excited about the prize pools and everything like that. So feel free to throw down in the comments what you're looking forward to the most. And I am so excited to see you on my next video. Let's continue watching how this plot evolves. And I can't wait to experience it with you and just have a wonderful, fantastic fucking time, because it is 2024 and we are grown adults that are on Neopets and life is beautiful here. So thank you so much for watching. And hey, remember, next time life gets too heavy, feel free to come back here for another chill quest. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.